Hey guys, this is Sarah Zastro from the Daily De-Stress blog, How to Manage Farm Stress. Today we are talking about this interesting phenomenon that was a light bulb moment for me, okay? This past weekend I went to a virtual conference, I guess I didn't go anywhere, I stayed at my own house and watched it on my laptop, but I had one of the most light bulb moments, just an epiphany that I think I've ever felt, okay? And that is that you don't have to believe everything that you think, okay? You don't have to believe everything that you think. Now, let me explain where my head was at as I was in this moment, okay? So I am my mind sort of races, right? It's always active, it's always going, and I have all these thoughts coming from everywhere. Maybe you're the same way. Some of the thoughts are good, some of the thoughts are not so good. And during a pandemic, it seems to be more negative than positive. And it seems to be more thoughts rooted in fear and anxiety and hopelessness than I've ever felt before. And I'm naturally an optimistic person, and I try really purposeful to be that way. But lately, that has been a lot of work for me. Now, when I have all these thoughts, right? We have all these fears, and maybe it's inspired by something we saw on social media or the news or something somebody said that sparks this thought in our head. And what can happen is, number one, our mind races down this downward spiral until we're in such a dark place that it causes some real problems. It can cause depression. It can cause really a lot of fear and a lot of panic. And I haven't gotten there yet, but I certainly know a lot of people who have, okay? Or option number two is that you don't have to believe everything that you think. Okay, this is why this was such an epiphany for me, because somebody had asked, hey, how are things going? How's this pandemic affecting you? And I just sunk into this real dark place, okay? And like a lot of us have through this, it's difficult when we look at all the farmers dumping out milk and farmers who are having to choose between euthanizing their livestock or taking it to market or getting people buying direct from farm. There's a lot of darkness right now. The prices in the commodities market are absolute crap, right? There's a lot of darkness. And so when I heard that, I thought, what? Why didn't I think of this before? Why didn't I think of this? I think a lot of times this negativity and this darkness drags you down. You guys know I'm a faithful person. I picture that. That's when the devil has the hold on you, right? But if you can choose and say, I don't have to believe that thought, then that's when you can step into the light. Right? You can step into living a life of grace and a life in God, right? And so how do we actually do that? I created a mantra that has to do with this because I think that it's really easy, especially right now when farming is so tough. It's financially not feasible, and there are so many obstacles and so many challenges. And so I created a mantra around that to remind me to drop the devil, drop his hands on my soul, to let that go, to let go the negativity and the bad thoughts and the fear and the frustration and the anxiety. Let that all go, because I don't have to believe every thought that I have. Okay, so that's my mantra. Don't believe every thought you have. That's what I tell myself when I feel that grip, when I feel that darkness, when I feel sad and heavy and hopeless. Don't believe it. Don't believe it, because we get to choose what we want to believe. What I do believe is that the public has never in the past 10 years had such a good and trusting view of the American farmer. And that is a feat, because 6 months ago, the public perception of the American farmer was not very good. What I do believe also is that things will pick back up again. What I do believe is that we will make it through this. What I do believe is that money isn't everything, and I chose to farm for a reason. Okay? What I do believe is that this life is good, that God is good, and that we are here for a purpose, right? And that purpose is to provide food for the people. That's what I believe. I don't have to believe the rest. I don't have to believe every thought that I have. I don't have to believe every fear-mongering glimpse of whatever news that pops into my head. I don't have to believe it. We get to choose. And in this process and in this conference, what it was saying is that not only do you get to choose, but in choosing, you grow through the fear and into courage. And making that choice and letting go of those bad thoughts, you grow through the anxiety and the panic and into hope. You grow through it. We go through hard times. We grow through hard times. We grow through whatever we're struggling with and into the life that we want, right? I've gotten a lot better at budgeting through this. I've gotten a lot better at time management through this. I've gotten a lot better at relationships, at connecting, at communicating with the people that I love through this. I get to choose what I want to believe. And I believe that we will get through this. I am choosing to grow through this because of the freeing mantra that I don't have to believe every thought that pops into my head. And you don't either. Okay, guys, hopefully this helped. Hopefully this was 10% as helpful for you as it was for me. This was such an epiphany moment. You don't have to believe every thought that you have. Okay? Because every thought that you have isn't necessarily true. Every thought that you have isn't necessarily rooted in fact. A lot of thoughts that you have, I would argue most thoughts that you have during the pandemic are rooted in fear, are rooted in negativity, are rooted in emotion, right? They are rooted in things that we don't necessarily have to have in our lives. And so if we can grow through that to courage and hope, then that's the goal, okay? So hopefully this was a little bit helpful for you. Like I said, this was the biggest epiphany I've had in such a long time, and so I thought I'd share it with you. You guys have a wonderful day, wonderful week. If there's any ways that I can help, let me know. See you later.